All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're totally dismantling how you think about building habits. We're looking at the core ideas from James Clear's groundbreaking book, Atomic Habits, alongside some really fascinating insights from leading behavioral scientists like BJ Fogg and Dr. Gina Cleo. Today, we're shifting away from that old, exhausting method of relying on sheer motivation. Instead, we're going to learn how to actively architect your life by designing foolproof systems. If you've ever felt frustrated by a habit that just will not stick, you are in exactly the right place.
So let me ask you this directly. Why is it that our best intentions always seem to fade? You know the drill, right? You start January with this absolute fire in your belly to hit the gym, read more, or eat healthier, only to find yourself right back on the couch by February. We've been conditioned to think it's a lack of willpower, but actually, here is the massive paradigm shift we're starting with. Failing to build a habit is a system design error. It is not a personal flaw. To fix that system, here is our roadmap for today. 1. Identity and systems. 2. The 4 laws. 3. Habit stacking and environment. 4. Breaking bad habits. And 5. The real-life action plan.
Section 1. Identity and systems. Building the foundation. Notice this stark contrast here between the old way of thinking and this new atomic way. Goals are all about the results you want, like losing 20 pounds or writing a book. But systems are about the actual processes that lead to those results. James Clear hit the nail on the head when he said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." I mean, think about it. Your current habits are perfectly designed to deliver your exact current results. If we want to change the results, we've got to change the system. And the absolute core of that system is your identity. Identity-based habits focus on who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. Your current behaviors are basically just a mirror image of the type of person you subconsciously believe you are. So the goal isn't to read a book, right? The goal is to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a marathon, it's to become a runner.
Imagine 2 people are offered a cigarette. The first person says, "Oh, no thanks, I'm trying to quit." Now that's outcome-based. They still see themselves as a smoker who's just trying to do something different. But the second person, they say, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Wow, that is a core identity shift. It's subtle, but it's completely profound. They aren't debating whether to smoke, it's simply not who they are anymore. When your habits actually align with your identity like that, you don't even need motivation.
Section 2. The 4 laws. Engineering the habit loop.
So every single habit goes through a 4-step neurological feedback loop. A cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which then provides a reward. To build a good habit, James Clear gives us the 4 laws of behavior change. First, make it obvious. Second, make it attractive. Third, make it easy. And fourth, make it satisfying. This is your ultimate checklist. Literally, if a habit isn't sticking, one of these 4 laws is failing you.
And sticking to it really matters because research from University College London shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit. Yep, 66, not 21 days, like that old myth says. This is exactly why those identity shifts we just talked about are so absolutely crucial. You need to identify as a runner to survive those 66 days when that initial burst of motivation inevitably drops off. But look, you don't have to overhaul your whole life on day 1. The real secret is the power of getting just 1% better every day. Small, daily, atomic choices absolutely compound over time. If you get just 1% better every single day, mathematically, you end up a staggering 37 times better by the end of the year. That's a massive transformation born entirely out of tiny consistency.
However, we always want to look at the full picture in this explainer. Habit researcher Dr. Gina Cleo offers a really fascinating scientific nuance here. She points out that applying a strict mathematical formula to human behavior is, well, it's a bit of a conceptual stretch. We aren't bank accounts, right? We're people. We get sick, we get tired, we just have bad days. So the crucial point here is to aim for consistency over perfection. Don't worry about rigid math, just focus on showing up.
Section 3. Habit stacking and environment. Designing the architecture.
Think of your daily routine as a blueprint. Your brain is essentially a prediction machine. It loves to conserve energy by automating routines. Habit stacking, which is a concept popularized by Stanford's BJ Fogg, exploits this perfectly. You just borrow the neurological momentum of a habit you already have, like, say, brewing your morning coffee, and use that as the anchor for a new habit, like writing down one priority goal for the day.
The formula is super simple. After I do my anchor habit, I will do my new habit. After I pour my coffee, I'll journal for 1 minute. After I close my laptop for the day, I'll immediately change into my workout clothes. You're taking all the friction out of starting because the trigger is already deeply embedded in your daily routine.
But beyond your routine, you also have to design your physical space. Your environment is like a silent collaborator. If you want to eat healthier, but you keep cookies on the counter and the apples are hidden away in the fridge drawer, you're fighting your own architecture. Put your running shoes directly in front of the door. Keep a full water bottle right on your desk. You want to make the good behavior the absolute path of least resistance.
Section 4. Breaking bad habits. Deconstructing the system.
To break a bad habit, you simply reverse engineer the 4 laws. If you want to stop endlessly scrolling on your phone at night, just invert the rules. Make it invisible by leaving the phone in another room. Make it unattractive by remembering how awful and groggy you feel the next day. Make it difficult by deleting the social media apps or turning off notifications entirely. And make it unsatisfying by, say, agreeing to owe a friend $1 every time you slip up.
Again, we turn to Dr. Gina Cleo for some really important context here. While environment design is incredibly powerful, she impartially reminds us that it isn't a cure-all for everyone. Internal states like chronic stress, trauma, or ADHD deeply govern our habits too. Sometimes emotional eating or compulsive avoidance stems from an internal overwhelm that can override even the best designed environment cues. It's just a great reminder to support your emotional well-being alongside your physical environment. Section 5. The Real-Life Action Plan. Deploying your system.
The absolute best way to start is the 2-minute rule. Scale your desired new habit down until it takes 2 minutes or less to do. If your goal is to read more, your habit is simply read 1 page. If you want to get fit, your entire habit is literally just tie my running shoes. It sounds almost too easy, right? Like it's a trick. But actually, that is exactly the point. A habit has to be established before it can be improved. You're mastering the art of showing up and casting a real, undeniable vote for your new identity.
And to keep that momentum going, use a visual habit tracker. Our brains crave instant gratification, but good habits often have delayed rewards. A habit tracker solves this completely. There was this 23-year-old stockbroker in Canada who kept 2 jars on his desk, one empty and one with 120 paper clips. Every time he made a sales call, he just moved a paper clip to the empty jar. He didn't stop until all 120 were moved. That visual proof provides an immediate hit of dopamine and satisfaction. Your only job? Just never break the chain.
Which brings us to our final thought. The overarching lesson here is that you don't need a massive surge of motivation to change your life. You just need a system. You need to make things obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. But before you do any of that, you have to answer this one fundamental question. Who is the type of person you want to become today? Stop focusing on the finish line, start designing your environment, and go cast that first 2-minute vote for your new identity right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this helps you build a better architecture for your daily life.